Imagine this scenario. You're rushing through airport security, barely making it on time for your flight. In the chaos of removing your shoes, belt, and laptop, you completely forget about that premium Swiss Army knife your grandfather gave you, sitting at the bottom of your backpack. The TSA agent pulls it out, and your heart sinks. I'm sorry, but you can't take this through security. Every year, millions of items disappear into those mysterious TSA bins, never to be seen again by their owners. From expensive perfumes to family heirlooms, wedding favors to power tools, they all vanish behind those security checkpoints. But where do they really go? Is there a massive underground vault filled with confiscated treasures? Are they being destroyed, sold, or maybe even kept by the agents themselves? What I discovered about the fate of these items will surprise you. And that Swiss Army knife? Well, its journey is about to get interesting. Number 1. The truth about TSA confiscation. Here's something that might surprise you. The TSA doesn't actually confiscate anything. What really happens is that travelers voluntarily surrender their items when they can't bring them through security. It's a small but important distinction that changes everything about how these items are handled. Think about it like this. Every single day, TSA checkpoints across America become the final destination for thousands of items. At Newark Airport alone, the collection is massive, ranging from simple belts and watches to entire suitcases, and yes, even those trendy selfie sticks that nobody seems to know are banned. But here's where it gets interesting. Contrary to what most people think, these items don't just get thrown in a dumpster behind the airport. The TSA has an elaborate system for cataloging and processing everything that comes through their checkpoints. Each item, depending on its value and type, follows a specific path. And if you're thinking this is just about pocket knives and water bottles, you'd be amazed. We're talking about everything from high-end electronics to professional cooking equipment, and even some rather unusual items that make you wonder what people were thinking when they packed their bags. The most fascinating part? Some of these items might end up back on the market, and you could be the one buying them. Number 2. What happens to lost and surrendered items? When items end up with the TSA, they enter a surprisingly organized system. In Newark, for example, there's a dedicated lost and found facility less than 5 miles away in Union. It's like a massive library of forgotten belongings, but instead of books, the shelves are lined with everything imaginable. The process is actually quite methodical. Jewelry gets organized by month and day. Other items are sorted by terminal and gate. Anything worth more than $500 takes a special trip to TSA's main office in Arlington, Virginia. But here's the interesting part. You actually have 30 days to claim your non-prohibited items from lost and found. But what about those items you can't reclaim? Well, the TSA has a solution for that too. Items containing personal data, like laptops and cameras, get sent to headquarters for destruction. Everything else under $500? It makes its way to state surplus stores like the one in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. The most surprising part is that these items don't just sit in storage forever. They get a second life through government auction websites like govdeals.com, where TSA's items get mixed in with other government surplus. You might find a confiscated Swiss Army knife listed right next to a retired fire truck. Number 3. Food gets the harshest treatment. You might think your confiscated pocket knife had it rough, but food items face the most dramatic ending of all. At JFK Airport alone, customs agents seize between 400 to 600 pounds of food every single day. And what happens to all of it? It meets a fate that would make any food lover cringe. Every single piece of confiscated food, from Italian salami to Jamaican mangoes, Chinese candy to Spanish ham, ends up in what customs officers affectionately call the grinder. It's exactly what it sounds like. A massive industrial grinder that turns everything into an unrecognizable slush. But before you get too upset about this seemingly wasteful process, there's actually a crucial reason behind it. These food items aren't destroyed because they're bad for humans. They're destroyed because they could be devastating for American agriculture. A single piece of foreign fruit could carry pests or diseases that could wreak havoc on U.S. crops. The customs agents who handle this task take their job seriously, even when faced with emotional pleas or, believe it or not, voodoo threats from passengers trying to keep their special food items. As one JFK customs supervisor put it, sometimes they go home with mango juice splashed on their uniforms. But it's all part of protecting American agriculture. Number 4. How to buy confiscated items for cheap. Ever wanted to own a piece of surrendered airport contraband? Well, you actually can, and for way less than you'd expect. All those surrendered items that aren't destroyed or claimed end up in state surplus stores, and they're selling these items at rock-bottom prices. Take the state surplus store in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, for instance. This place is like a treasure hunter's paradise. Everything is marked down at least 50% off retail price, and some items are still brand new in their packaging. We're talking about high-end tools, designer purses, and even premium electronics, all waiting for a second chance at ownership. Since 2004, this program has generated about $900,000 from selling surrendered items. Every month, they receive around 425 pounds of new merchandise. The variety is mind-boggling, from Dooney and Burke purses to professional-grade kitchen knives, and yes, even those trendy shake weights that somebody thought would be perfect for in-flight exercise. The best part? You've got options for buying. You can visit these stores in person, bid on items through govdeals.com, or sometimes buy items in bulk by the pound. Some things are even sold in mystery lots. Imagine getting a box of random TSA surrendered items. It's like a garage sale meets treasure hunt, all courtesy of forgotten airport security items. Number 5. Loose change equals free money for TSA. Ever been in such a rush through security that you forgot to pick up your spare change from those plastic bins? You're not alone. Here's the kicker. At Newark Airport alone, passengers left behind more than $16,000 in loose change last year. And nationwide, that number skyrockets to a staggering $675,000. Think about it. A quarter here, a few dimes there, maybe even some foreign coins you meant to exchange. It all adds up, and the TSA gets to keep every single penny. It's basically free money falling into their laps, quite literally, as hurried travelers race to make their flights. What's even more interesting is that this isn't just a case of careless travelers. The hustle and bustle of airport security creates the perfect storm for forgotten change. You're juggling your shoes, belt, laptop, and dignity while trying to make it through those metal detectors. That loose change in the bottom of the bin? It often becomes an unintentional donation to the TSA's coffers. And while you might think the TSA would need some special process or permission to keep all this money, they don't. By law, they're allowed to catalog it and add it straight to their budget. It's like finding money in your couch cushions, except this couch is spread across every airport in America. Number 6. The craziest items ever found. Just when you think you've heard it all, TSA agents keep finding items that make you question everything about airport packing decisions. At Denver International Airport, agents have seen it all. From Chinese throwing stars to brass knuckles and even wedding favors that looked suspiciously like explosives. The stories get even wilder. Someone actually tried to bring a spear as a carry-on item. Yes, a spear. As one TSA agent put it, I'm at a loss of words for that one. But that's not even the craziest part. They found perfume bottles designed to look like grenades, causing entire security checkpoints to be evacuated. Even innocent-looking beauty items have turned out to be hidden weapons. Perhaps the most concerning finds are the loaded guns, and there are more than you'd think. TSA confiscated 90 guns in just 1 year at Denver International, up from 74 the previous year. And here's the shocking part. Most of these guns were loaded, some with rounds in the chamber, ready to go. But it's not just weapons. They've found everything from bowling pins to full-size snow globes and even free weights. Because apparently some people think a mid-flight workout with dumbbells is a good idea. The variety is so bizarre that TSA agents often joke they could write a book about all the strange things they've seen. Number 7. Possible ways to keep your items. Before you surrender that expensive pocket knife or favorite perfume bottle, you should know that the TSA actually gives you several options. Think of it as a choose-your-own-adventure moment at the security checkpoint. The first and most obvious option is to return to your car or head to the airline counter to check the item in your luggage. Yes, this might mean leaving the security line and starting over, but it's better than losing something valuable. Some savvy travelers even keep a small bubble mailer in their carry-on just in case. Here's something most people don't know. Many airports actually have mailing services right at the security checkpoint. You can ship that prohibited item right back to your home address. Sure, it'll cost you a few bucks in shipping, but it beats losing that special souvenir or family heirloom forever. Got a non-traveling companion seeing you off? That's your golden ticket. You can simply hand the item to them to take back home. And if you're at the airport early enough, you might even have time to find a nearby store or post office to safely store or ship your item. The key is knowing your options before you get to that moment of truth at the security checkpoint. Because once you surrender an item, that decision is usually final, and your Swiss Army knife might end up in someone else's collection. Number 8. Final takeaway. Avoid the mistakes. Let's get real. The best way to handle TSA confiscation is to avoid it entirely. After seeing millions of dollars worth of items surrendered each year, the solution is actually simpler than you might think. Here's the golden rule from TSA agents themselves. When it comes to jewelry and small accessories, you usually don't have to remove them at all. Those small earrings, basic watches, and regular rings, keep them on. They won't trigger the machine, and you won't risk leaving them behind in those plastic bins. For electronics and valuable items, here's a pro tip straight from TSA officials. Just add a business card. Seriously, stick one on your laptop, tablet, or even your carry-on luggage. A simple name and phone number can make the difference between losing your device forever and getting a call about where to pick it up. But the absolute best thing you can do: take 5 minutes before packing to check TSA's website. They have a simple "What can I bring?" tool that could save you hundreds of dollars and a lot of heartache. Because let's face it, watching your grandfather's Swiss Army knife disappear into that bin isn't just about losing an item. It's about losing something that meant something to you. Remember, every item in those TSA surplus stores represents someone's "I wish I had known" moment. Don't let your belongings become part of that collection. And speaking of knowing better, if you found this inside, look at TSA's Secret World helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. And hey, drop a comment below telling me what's the craziest thing you've ever seen at airport security.